Definitely. Marshall, North Texas. We've got Marshall, 11-point road favorites, 65.5, 66 the total. I've seen this is starting to look like, and Charles Huff, of course, gets hired as the head coach from Alabama. He coached under Nick Saban here. This is starting to look like a team that can't get out of their own way. Just mistakes, turnovers, penalties, breakdowns defensively at bad times. We've seen it all from this Marshall team, and they are extremely fortunate to get out of Dodge on Saturday. 21.5-point home favorites, did not sniff a cover against Old Dominion. 20-13 win in overtime. In fact, they were about to lose that game unless they drove down with a minute to go to tie the game. They were that close to losing outright to Old Dominion last week. And then before that, they lose outright as double-digit chalk to Middle Tennessee. They have the 1-point loss against App State, but they covered as dogs there. You look at them just laying points, and other than the win against Navy, who were just, in rough shape at the beginning of the year and really didn't get better. That's pre-quarterback change when Navy was playing pretty poorly. Other than that, they're 0-4 against the spread as favorites this year. So I'm not laying 11 with this team. I'm just not doing it, on the road here. But unfortunately, North Texas is not exactly a great team to trust consistently.
Yes.
I will say this, though. Last two games have been a step up, and their yardage numbers are improving. Louisiana Tech, they lose by 7. 10-point dogs, they cover in that one. And then last week against Missouri. Okay, Missouri's got an awful defense. We've said that a million times on these shows, on this channel. But still, for North Texas to go and on the road to an SEC team, bad SEC defense, but to go on the road, put up 35 points for Austin Ani, to throw for over 305 yards passing, or over 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, to run the football as effectively as they did as well, with the likes of DeAndre Torrey, who had 24 rushes, 85 yards in the game. To be able to run the football, have success. Ani was solid. The receivers made plays down the field, Damon Ward Jr. among them. That's good for North Texas. And Marshall's defense is not exactly shutting teams down right now. So this might be a small flyer for me. North Texas is so flighty, it's hard to be confident, but this might be a small flyer for me on the North Texas Mean Green plus 11. Total's being hit up as we speak. I wouldn't talk anyone out of an over, even at 66 here. Marshall plays up tempo. Their offense with Grant Wells is still good enough. Their defense isn't very good, and kind of the same thing with North Texas. I mean, good offense, but not exactly a great defense by any stretch. So I like the over, and again, I would lean to the home dog if I'm getting involved in the either of these two sides here. What do you like here, Conor? Marshall, North Texas.
Yeah, this is one I kind of circled as a lean to me. Marshall, I just don't think they should be a team laying points right now. If they were under a touchdown, maybe you could look at Marshall. This is either stay off or take North Texas, like you were talking about. North Texas has looked better. I mean, against La Tech, they lost by a touchdown. Missouri, they just lost by 13. They're starting to score a little bit in these games, so which is good. Marshall, I had Old Dominion. Remember we talked about it on Saturday. I'm like, Old Dominion's getting a little bit better from just we were talking about deadpan bottom 5. With teams in all of football, in college football. So Wells can still move it, but that defense has problems. So I'd be leery if you like Marshall here this week. I think they're a little bit better football team, but I don't know about 11 points right now. I'm leaning North Texas at home, but you got to trust them. Can they score enough and their defense hang in there, and keep, maybe keep Marshall under 30 points? That'd be good. I don't know if they can do that. So I don't know about the over. It's a lot of points. That one's interesting. I'm going to stay off the total.
What's fascinating too about North Texas here is the fact that Missouri at minus 0.1 yards per play in the game. So they basically, from a yards per play standpoint, played Missouri dead even. And I know Missouri's not great. We know their defense stinks, but there's still something that North Texas can say, wow, that's pretty damn good. That, SEC school on the road last week, and we went even pretty much with them yards per play in that football game.
Real quick, there and before that, everyone thought North Texas was a team that could score, and they had 3 straight unders before that over with Missouri. So that's all I mean about the total. Yep. Maybe they're starting to score. It could get over, but I'd be leery. They were playing unders early.
Exactly, they were, and all of a sudden they've found the light. The light switch has come on offensively for them. Yeah, the last couple weeks against La Tech and Missouri. All right, we're going to pause the football first because we're nice guys here on the Hitting the Books show. There are people asking about White Sox Astros. I'm going to just briefly say I like over 8.5 in that game. I think a second look for the White Sox against McCullers will lead to better things for their lineup. And on the flip side, Rodon, yeah, he's got great numbers, especially at home, but I trust the Astros to hit lefty, even a good one like Rodon. So I don't think he's going to completely snuff them out today. So I like over 8.5 in that game. Nothing on the side. I respect the White Sox trying to stay alive. I think the Astros could finish it today, to be honest, but I'm not going to bet Houston. I'm just going to stick to the over. Connor, did you have any thoughts on that baseball game? It's just about to start. Game 4, Chicago-Houston.
Yeah, I'd roll with the White Sox. I'm going to take them. They're at home. This is where they need to be now. Game 5, anything can happen. They're not a good road team. We've seen them in Houston. But I think you roll with the White Sox. You could get them right around even money. I think they win. I like your over 8.5 a little bit. This one thing about this series, pitching has been great, and there's been overs. So I kind of lean with your over 8.5 as well.
Yeah, very good. We will get the rest of the MLB card out there on closing time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And Ash Ram, you're asking about hockey. Connor and I will have some hockey picks for you for tonight as well on the closing time show at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll sneak some hockey. We'll sneak some pucks in for all the puckheads out there. I always say it's better to be a puckhead than a fuckhead. And that is so very, very, very true.